What's up, you guys? It's me, Roger Spice, hosting for the Roman and Spice YouTube channel. So before today's video starts, I just want to say that the credit for this video is going to go to Cayleigh Elise, who is a fellow YouTuber who covers true crimes, unsolved crimes, very similar to what I do with my Chasing Justice series, and very similar to what people like Criminally Listed do, Scary Mysteries, Top 15, those kinds of things. The only reason I am not linking my credited source, which would be Cayleigh Elise, as well as Wikipedia, um, Wikipedia will be linked down below, but I can't link Cayleigh Elise because she has actually taken all of her YouTube videos down, so there's no actual video I can refer you guys to. But yes, I learned a lot from this case thanks to Cayleigh Elise and my own research. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chasing Justice Season 1, Episode 4, The Boy in the Box. Disclaimer: this episode will be talking about sexual assault. Very, very briefly, as you guys know, I don't like to go into mega detail about stuff like that. But yes, if you're triggered by that, then I advise you skip the video or you don't watch this particular episode. But without further ado, let's get on to the video. On the 25th of February 1957, a 6-year-old boy was found naked, wrapped in a blanket in a bassinet box. The boy was malnourished and showed telltale signs of abuse. What was also weird was the boy's hair had been cut, but not very well. There were still pieces of hair on his head, some areas were bald, and the boy's fingernails were kept short and clean too. So who is this boy and where did he come from? Who is he? Who is his family? Where are his parents? The chase for justice continues. Unfortunately, the police and the investigating services have very little information on this boy. The only thing that we do know for sure is that this boy was 6 years old when he was found murdered. The young boy was discovered naked and found in a blanket in a bassinet box, and the bassinet box came from a company called J.C. Penney's. Now, as I mentioned before, the young boy was found clothless, in the nude, and only wrapped in a blanket when he was found inside of this bassinet box. And it is believed that his hair and fingernails, as mentioned before, were cut shortly before the boy was murdered. When investigating services had examined the boy's body, they had discovered telltale signs of abuse, also surgical scars, and also signs of severe malnourishment, meaning it was most likely that this young boy was being abused, starved, and beaten, and God knows whatever else. There was also a strange dark substance found in the young boy's throat, which hasn't been identified, but it is believed that shortly before the boy was murdered, he had thrown up. So behind me, I just want to point out here, is the pictures that were taken of the boy in the box, also known as America's unknown child. I do want to just put a trigger warning out there. Some of these pictures might be upsetting to some of you guys, and I understand that. With the investigation ongoing, a man came forward. When questioned, the man said that he hadn't come forward about discovering the child's body earlier, as he had been setting illegal traps to catch animals. So he didn't want to get himself in trouble, therefore he chose not to tell anybody until a later time. Several days later, the boy's body was again found by a college student who again was skeptical about going to the police, was unsure, didn't want to. However, the following day, the college student did actually report his findings to the police. When investigating, found at the scene was a handkerchief, a baby's scarf, and a blue cap. So I just want to talk to you guys very quickly about this picture behind me. This may be triggering for some of you guys, so I just want to, you know what I mean, give you a trigger warning. But they actually dressed the unidentified boy up and took pictures in better hopes of identifying, maybe somebody would recognise them with clothes on. Maybe somebody who wasn't directly connected to the boy's family may recognise them. But anyway, nothing happened. The boy was not actually identified. This didn't help, but every little helps, and it's worth trying everything. So let's talk about the investigation. Police and investigating services were successfully able to get a DNA sample from the boy, but unfortunately there were no matches, and the DNA sample was pretty much useless. As of February 2020, the boy in the box still remains unidentified decades later. Nobody during the investigation, nobody at the time when the word started to get out of the discovery, had come forward to identify the boy. No family, the boy's mother didn't, the boy's father didn't. We don't know if the boy had siblings, but still to this day nobody has come forward to identify the boy in the box, also known as America's Unknown Child. It was reported that 400,000 flyers were actually sent out across the country in order to help identify the boy. Perhaps his parents or his family had moved out of state or across the country, but still, even with 400,000 flyers being given out and obviously people spreading the word, because this was a very big case, and still nobody came forward to identify this boy. He's still unknown, and I think that's really sad. With these cases, I try not to give my personal opinion too much, but this case really does sadden me. I'm not gonna lie. On the 21st of March 2016, the National Centre for Missing Children had released a facial reconstruction, seen here, of what the boy looked like in life. Police and investigating services are hoping that with a clear and a better facial reconstruction that the boy could be identified, because if you remember in the video earlier on, we were on about how they were taking photos of the boy deceased in clothing and hoping to identify him that way. But as technology has advanced over the years, obviously this murder happened in 1957, so that was quite a long time ago. So technology has gotten way better, and they were actually able to create a facial reconstruction of what the boy in the box could have looked like in life. As the investigation was pretty much going into cold territory and nobody was coming forward, the boy was actually buried, laid to rest, nameless and without an identity. The boy was laid to rest in Pottersfield, and in the year 1998 he was actually exhumed so that they could take a DNA sample. The plot, coffin, headstone and the funeral service were donated. So as the chasing of justice continues, we move on to our conclusion section. I also want to mention that these conclusions are conclusions. These are not factual. And of course, we are allowed to speculate, and until we have 100% proof of who this boy is and what exactly happened, we can speculate. But I just want to make it very, very clear that these are just simply conclusions. Please take these as theory and not facts. Theory number one, the boy was actually the son of a woman whose father owned a foster home 1.5 miles away from where the boy was found. So this may seem a little bit bizarre to you guys, but let me just explain. There was actually a foster home 1.5 miles away from where the boy was found, and there was a man there who had a stepdaughter. So yeah, that's where that theory came from. Later on, a psychic had actually, without any prompting whatsoever, any prior knowledge to the boy, the murder, had actually led police to the foster home. Also, a bassinet similar to the ones that JCPenney had sold and the bassinet box that the boy in the box had been found in had been discovered in their home. I just want to mention it was not the exact bassinet, it was similar. According to reports, there was actually blankets and things of that nature found that were very similar to the blankets found that the boy in the box was discovered in. Despite the theories and the bunches of wild rumours and the speculation, they were not actually linked physically to the boy in the box, nor was there a record of a boy matching the boy in the box description at the foster home. In 1998, the owners of the foster home were actually questioned by police and they were unable to be linked to the boy in the box or the boy in the box's murder. Due to this and lack of evidence, the owners of the foster home were actually dismissed as suspects. Theory number 2. The boy in the box was actually purchased as a sex slave and was beaten to death whilst throwing up baked beans in the bathtub of the purchaser's home, the people that had bought the boy. I'm going to get more into this story. In 2002, a woman only identified as M had phoned police and confessed that her mother had actually purchased a boy as a sexual slave. M stated to the police that the boy was purchased in 1952 and that his name could quite possibly be Jonathan. Allegedly, M had told the police that the boy had been purchased as a sexual slave and had been beaten sexually and physically, often being kept in the basement, and M also stated that the boy had several disabilities, one meaning that the boy was unable to talk, hence maybe why he was never discovered if this theory is true. One night after dinner, M had told the police that the boy had gone into the bathroom and thrown up baked beans into the bathtub, causing M's mother to fly into such a rage that she actually killed the boy. M stated that the boy was allegedly beaten and picked up and thrown on the ground, causing his injuries and also death, because when she threw him, he hit his head. And the boy's cause of death was actually blunt force trauma to the head. Okay, so you may be wondering, okay, what does that have to do with anything? Where are the facts? Where's the proof? One thing that is striking about this particular conclusion was the boy allegedly had thrown up baked beans in the bathtub, and actually in the boy's system, in his stomach, there was actually contents and residue of baked beans. And also it was reported the boy's fingers were actually wrinkled, suggesting that he had come into physical contact with water, and M had stated that the bathtub whole incident thing. I'm not trying to push you to believe what I'm saying, I'm just trying to explain to you that there is evidence that could possibly back this up. Not only were the boy's fingers wrinkled, they were really wrinkled, which suggests that the boy had been not only in contact physically with water, but he had been in contact for a very long time with that water to cause that amount and that deep of wrinkling in one's fingers. Afterwards, M had also allegedly stated to the police that she had helped her mother relocate the boy's body to where it was found. Unfortunately, if this is the truth, then it was unable to be proven by the police. There was not enough evidence, and as mentioned earlier in the video, the owners of the foster home were actually, sorry, not the foster home, M was actually, a lot of people have come forward, M's family, to say that she had been mentally ill, so that kind of brought the police to question whether or not this was a reliable witness or this was somebody that was telling the truth. So I haven't covered every single theory in regards to the boy in the box. I have covered the two theories that I believe are the most plausible. And I don't want you guys to treat these conclusions / theories as facts, because these are speculation. Even though, yeah, M's story had evidence to back it up, I'm still making it very clear that, there's no actual 100% proof, if you understand what I'm trying to say. sadly, over 50 years later, the boy in the box is still yet to be identified, and his killer or killers are still yet to be brought to justice, and the chasing of justice continues. Thank you so much for watching. We here at Roman and Spice appreciate it, and we are, as always, we want to let you guys know that our mission with this Chasing Justice series is to spread the word on unsolved cases. Some cases you may have heard of, they're very popular, they're very infamous, they capture the public's attention a lot. Some cases that we are going to be covering as the series goes on. Some of these cases you guys may never even have heard of, because I can tell you there's quite a lot of cases that I've come across that I've never heard of. So, and there's some cases that don't get that much coverage, and I think that's tragic. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and thank you for watching this video, because you are doing what I'm doing too. By you watching this video, you are helping me spread the word. So I thank you for that. And hopefully the boy in the box's killer is brought to justice, or you know what I mean? Sorry, is my camera gonna die? Is my camera dying? Sorry, I had a blank moment and I thought my camera was gonna die. So anyways, thank you so much for watching today's episode. You guys can find my social media links down below in the description. Apologies about the whole camera thing then. It really did look like it was gonna die. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that with this series we can progress more and more and spread the word more and more. And thank you guys that have been watching. As you guys know, this is not my thing. Hosting is not my thing, but it's something I want to get into. And you know, thank you to you guys that are patient with me and that allow me to do the research and that allow my stuff to get in the way sometimes, or sometimes I forget stuff and I have to go back. So, you know, thank you so much, and thank you for helping me spread the word, because you are helping these cases get out to more and more people, and I thank you for that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to, you can comment down below, you can message me personally. I know a lot of you guys like to do that. Please like today's video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please turn on your notifications bell, therefore you are informed whenever I upload, especially my Chasing Justice series, because it's, as you guys can see, it's really good. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Rosia Spice, here for the Roman and Spice YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next one. And until next time, guys, the chase for justice continues.